MyMac Podcast 869. Sorry, what did you say?
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac Podcast with the G-Men Guy and myself. Now, Guy, why is there an Apple event scheduled for a Monday? Has the very course of time and space been altered in such a way as to warp the very fabric of reality and Kleenex tissues? No, I think it's just Tim Cook having a laugh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, I agree. And he's upset me. I was going to say this a bit later, but he's upset me because
Tell me.
Last week, in fact, we'll jump straight into it because I had a busy week earning money, going on steam trains, doing rugby games, executive rugby meetings, Wilf wanderings, and cables, man. Boy, do I need cables because
was that yesterday or today?
That was tomorrow. And my charging cables.
Listen to the after show to get any of that.
My charging cables are starting to get frayed all over the place, and I need to do some searching on cables for charging my phone. Then at the end of the week, I received an email, Guy, from Mike Potter saying to the team, did we want to join in for a reaction time Mac event? What? Firstly, I can't make it. Boo. Because we've got another rugby meeting on Monday. We often have a rugby meeting on a Monday, only the third Monday of certain months. So I'm really annoyed. And it's not on a Tuesday. How did I not hear about this sooner, Guy? How did I not hear about this sooner? Why are they doing it on Monday?
Just announced it last week. Which was so weird because, I mean, usually you get like a couple of weeks build up.
Yeah, well, but when was it in the week? I know what it is. I know it is. The majority of the tech press are not interested in Macs.
Well, they are interested in Apple because that's like the only thing they seem to know how to write about.
Very true. Very true.
When I saw the date, I was sitting there going, wait, the 18th. That's Tuesday? And when I finally looked, it was like, wait a second. Hold on a minute here.
Hold on.
That's a Monday.
That's not right.
Yeah. Well, that is weird. That is very, very odd.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what we should do. Let's talk about what we think in the second section about what we think might come because by the time people hear this, the event will have probably happened for a lot of people anyway, not everybody. Carl, thank you, Carl. And listen to the end piece, Carl. Really, really, yeah. Spurs. Just think Spurs, right? Now,
you see, I get that, so you can't slide that by me.
They'll be laughing at what we're thinking might be coming because they'll know then what has already been announced by Apple.
So you're saying that by talking about tomorrow's event today and released on a Tuesday, probably, that they'll be laughing at us in the future? Or will they just skip ahead and laugh at us now?
I think they'll probably just laughing, if I'm honest. Just laughing in general.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Well, I had a good weekend. What
did you do? I mean, you didn't ask me too much about my steam train, but we'll come back to that maybe.
Okay. Because God knows I love trains. My friend Dave, I've talked about Dave and his wife Joyce that live in Ohio. I'm going to visit them because usually those are weekends when I can't do the MyMac podcast because I'm going to go get drunk with Dave in Ohio. Well, this time they came here. They came here to Virginia. Yeah, that's
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Well, we got kind of close to the Blue Ridge Mountains because my wife and Dave are both big Civil War buffs. As a matter of fact, Dave and Joyce went to Harper's Ferry in West Virginia, which has some history back to that area or that time period. And then they also went to Antietam, where another big battle was from the Civil War.
Okay.
So when they came here, we said, well, we'll go out to Manassas,
Manassas.
where there were two battles, the Battle of Bull Run 1, and then its direct sequel with, oh God, Bruce Willis. That's what I was trying to think of his name. The Bruce Willis sequel, Battle of Bull Run Part 2. Bull Harder. That was the name of the second battle. So, but the problem, we got out there and we weren't there for that long, and it's a really, really big site. And then these clouds came in and it was getting ready to pour down rain. So we could only do the rest of it from the car. So we didn't really get to see all that much. It's like, okay, if you squint your eyes and look way over there, there's a marker that you can't read from here that will tell you why that area right there is significant. Okay, on to the next one. And we were looking for this stone bridge, and we ended up actually pulling into a winery, which also made a lot of people very happy.
And did you?
And I did. We tasted 6 different wines.
Did you?
We did wine, and my wife and I bought 4 bottles because it was a good wine. And because, you know, those grapes in Virginia, they're not quite as good as the grapes from Ohio or the grapes in Idaho, but you know,
they're not bad grapes.
You take your grapes where you can get them. But one of the finest wineries in Florida. I don't know. You know, it's kind of just the way things work, I guess. So, but that was a good time. And then they left this morning to go back home. And here we are. And, you know, you remember last week I was talking about how I lost all of my video my video archives.
Yes.
Got the drive in, got them all backed up. Everything is hunky dory. I've got the new drives are set up to back up the Backblaze. So everything is happy as far as that goes. So I got my offsite backups are working again, and that's good. But even more important, Gaz.
I was going to ask you about this. Did you find something, Guy?
I did.
Did you find something?
Something that I had been missing for a
years.
very, very long time.
Years.
Literally. And both of us had been looking for it, and we could not find it. I knew I had it on a hard drive somewhere way back there. If you look at this completely jumbled mess that's behind me, if you watch the video. And I was looking at some of the old drives. Actually, it was last Sunday, or it was just after we finished recording.
Yeah.
And
I suddenly got a text.
Yeah. It was like, wait a second. Hold on a minute. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do on the fly right now, if I can find it, where did I put that?
Have you lost it?
Probably. Do you have it? I know you have it.
I've got it in the messages that you sent me. And if you want me to,
yeah, go ahead.
Save
if you can find it and get it playing before I can, that would be.
Well, I probably can't because I've got to download it first. I don't. No, I don't think if I open it. No, it's not going to work.
Well, you know what I can do? I can do a quick search. This is really important.
I'm
with as much as I looked for this damn thing for a very, very long time. And the crazy thing is I will have to edit it.
The thing is, it's now in my iTunes library.
Found it. All right, dropping it into Farrago. I'm going to play it now. This is what we had been looking for a very, very long time. And I will have to edit this before the show comes out.
And the funny thing is, folks, this was really funny at the time.
Oh, it was hysterical.
Because what you don't get, and what you've got to remember here is,
as you listen to it,
Guy can't hear what's playing in the background, can you?
Not in this clip, no.
Not in the clip. He was trying to find what was actually playing, and that's what made it even funnier. So
right, because it was playing, I couldn't hear it, and my reaction to not being able to hear it is what made it funny. All right, here it is. Are you ready?
I am.
I don't have all my loops. Really? Yeah, I'm in the Christmas spirit now. Fucking thing.
Yes, he did swear, folks. Yes,
several times. There'll be a couple of edit points. I'll have to. God help me if I forget to edit that out, or to edit those little bits. And you could probably tell what it was I was actually saying by the cadence of my words as it was going on. But I had lost that years ago through one of the many computer and drive swaps, and it really bothered me that I couldn't find it. Kind of like when Gaz plays that one clip, only plays the first part of the clip and doesn't play the second part of the clip.
Yeah.
Ants in the brain.
His
so I'd had ants in my brain for years. Thank you. And when I found it, I was so excited. I mean, literally, I was like, oh, there it is. And then I listened to it and it was like, oh, okay, that's all right. But the whole thing was that I had finally found it.
Yeah.
And there it was. So we have now gone on about 5-10 minutes on this.
We were trying to get old emails that had been sent to people with that clip attached to it, but
couldn't find
they
it.
were so old that the servers had deleted the attachments on the email.
Because this probably goes back. This definitely goes back to like the very early years.
Yeah, it does.
Of the G-Men. So this is probably like 2011, 2012 at the latest.
Yeah. You see, these days, I'd be shouting at guys saying, hey, you dumbass, it's playing in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, things were very different back then.
Yeah, they were.
And I saved it then, and now I have it again.
Good man.
No one will really care.
No,
but it meant a lot to us.
You can tell folks we're filling. We do quite a lot of filling this week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, tell me about your train ride.
All right. Yeah. So
which I am actually very excited to hear about.
Yeah. Well, I might to see if I can share with you some clips later. So the folks who are listening to this may or may not have seen some of them on Twatface, an Insta stream. But basically we caught a train which had been traveling up from London, a steam train which had been traveling up from London for a couple of hours before it got to a place called Kettering, is where we picked, or Kettering, which is where we picked him. Yeah, Spurs. And we picked it up from there, and it was we were actually upgraded into first class in the seating arrangements. We didn't get anything extra in terms of food and refreshments, but we got put in a first class carriage, and it was very nice. It was all, I think it's a club class carriage. I can't remember. But the steam train was called the Yorkshireman, and it took us then up to York, which took probably about 4 hours from where we were in Kettering. Now, we had a few stops on the way because obviously the steam train does use the main lines. And if anybody who is outside the UK, you'll know that we've got plenty of main lines, but we're quite a small country. So those main lines get used by the fast trains, the really fast trains, quite a lot. So the steam train has to kind of give way, as it were, and use some of the quieter tracks on the route up to Yorkshire.
I can see like one of those 200-kilometer trains coming up behind it, and then just sitting there as a steam train just kind of chugs along.
I'll tell you what, though, in saying that, though, at times
the engineer is like, "What's that guy's problem? I'm going as fast as I can. Damn it!
More coal.
What's wrong with you?"
There were times though where it was chugging along quite nicely, actually, quite fast. Anyway, it was a good day. We went up to York, then we spent some hours in York, had a lunch in York, and then came back. Unfortunately, the carriages got dragged back by a diesel train, while the steam train itself actually went off somewhere else, which actually is probably a good thing, because on the way up, there were lots of people stood on the side watching and waving as the steam train came through, and we went over the longest brick-built aqueduct in the UK, which is very near to us, actually. So I was really looking forward to going over that aqueduct as well, through a few tunnels, obviously, where the steam flows down, and it was just good. It was really good fun. And we're thinking we might see if we can perhaps do another one on another part of the country sometime in the future.
If it's still going, the next time I come to the UK, I definitely want to do that.
Well, yeah, they don't happen that often, so we'll have to get the timing right when you come. Definitely.
No, they can just start it up for
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, if we go to York, then you can go to the Railway Museum there as well. Anyway,
yeah.
So that was my little trip. Now that's one type of transport. See what I'm doing here, Guy? See what I'm doing?
Oh, it's a whole theme.
It's a theme.
Actually, I'm looking at what it is you're going to talk about. Yes, it is a whole theme.
Yeah. So obviously, my cycling that I've been doing, I've talked about, obviously, the Ordnance Survey map. Well, the other main app that I use when cycling, running, etc., is Strava, Guy. I find that the free option that I've got from them does enough. I have used the paid option, but it really doesn't. I don't use it enough to use all the extra functionality. So the free option of Strava is enough in terms of functionality for me to use. And I use it from my watch as well, rather than my iPhone. The service apparently was founded in 2009 by Mark Gainley and Michael Horvath. Tottenham. And they're based, I think it's still based in San Francisco, California. Interestingly, though, and I don't know if you remember this, Guy, in 2017, Strava published a global heat map. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
It was a visualization of 2 years of trailing data from Strava's global network of, participants and athletes. And in January 2018, an Australian National University student studying international security discovered that this Strava map had mapped military bases, including known US bases in Syria and forward operating houses in Afghanistan, and also Her Majesty's nuclear bunker, Clyde, as a Royal Navy base that contains the United Kingdom's nuclear arsenal.
Is that an issue?
No, not at all. No. Well, the findings led to continued scrutiny over privacy issues associated with these fitness services and other location-aware applications. Strava's CEO at the time, James Quarez, stated that the company was committed to working with military and government officials on the issue and would be reviewing its features and simplifying its privacy settings, although users can now opt out of having their data aggregated on the global heat map.
Probably a good idea.
Yes. The original data that contains sensitive information has been archived, though, Guy, on GitHub.
Well, yeah, but you see, they change those bases the way they laid out all the time.
Yeah, so. Absolutely, all the time, move them around. So
yeah. It's like nuclear bombs here. Now they're over here.
Yeah. Oh, we just told you where they are. We've got to move them again.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Shut up, Guy. You're going to blow it.
So Strava's the other digital app that I use while I'm out. There will be something next week as well about my listening habits when I'm actually out and about as well, and lights, etc. But I'll get onto that next week. Now I think we're actually ready for my snippets, Guy.
Actually, one question before you do that.
Yes.
Is today the last day for BST? Does it change over tonight?
31st of November. 31st
of Halloween. So Halloween
October.
31st
of October. Yeah.
So it's candy and time change.
No. Whoa. This year it happens to be Halloween.
Okay.
It's not Halloween every year.
It is Halloween every year.
You do make me laugh at times.
Oh, you mean when they change the time? It's not the same. It's Halloween every year. Okay, I get it now.
You get it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that again. Gaz's snippets. Okay, Apple closes in on another milestone. Apparently, they are soon going to hit, Guy, 100 billion in annual profit.
Okay, so 10 years from now, we can talk about their $4 trillion that they have.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good.
Apparently, Apple has asked a judge to put the App Store orders on hold as it appeals the Epic Games ruling. Apple decides that its victory against Epic wasn't enough, and it wants a total win, apparently.
Sure, rub their noses in it.
Absolutely.
Because that was kind of Epic. Epic's argument can be compared to dog crap. Okay. So
you could almost say, Guy, it was an epic fail.
It pretty much was.
Apparently, Apple has released 15.0.2. They've also released
0.02.
I've got 2 actually here.
No, I think it was
15.0.2.
I think it was. Oh, I think there's a wrong decibel in the syllabus there.
Okay, all right. Well, they've also released
15.02.
They've also released. Do you think there's an extra decimal place?
Yes, there's lots of placements going on.
Let me have a look to see. Let me just do this.
If only I had something that was actually running it.
Hang on a minute. Well, I should have updated automatically, so I'm just going to have a look.
15.0.2.
15.0.2. So I was right then, and you were wrong.
No, you said 15.2.
I didn't. You listen back. You listen back, young man. Anyway, they've also released WatchOS 8.0.1.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm
Apple
on board
TV,
with that one.
Apple TV Plus releases a new trailer for The Shrink Next Door, which is a series starring Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd. Don't know what that's going to be quite like. Apple has announced October 18th event after months of Mac rumors. Yes, we know it's a Monday, you bad people.
You mean October? You just said November.
October then. Sorry, I've got my months mixed up.
I was going to sit there and say, wait a second. Did they announce another event?
That's next month, not last month.
Or maybe you said October and I got it
Not
wrong.
this month, but next month after last month. Anyway, I'm getting my months mixed up this January. Long rumored work on AirPods hearing aids capabilities is just the start, says a report. Now, we've talked about this quite a lot. The fact that AirPods may have a lot. Oh, we'll have a chat about that in a little while. The AirPods actually may well be. Oh dear. If you're watching the video, you'll see why I'm hesitating, folks. We've often spoken about the fact that we think that Apple can do a lot more with in-ear detection of heat, body heat, possibly your pulse, all sorts of things. And this report is saying that it is just the start having hearing aid capabilities on them. Which is really
what else are they going to do?
Well, it's the easy first step, isn't it? Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, because they can take temperature. You can take temperature with something like that.
Yeah.
Measure the depth of earwax.
There's a lot of information in earwax.
So much information.
Have you ever played Eve Online?
You can tell how old someone is by the rings.
He's going to count the rings in your earwax. I've got to apologize to anybody who's eating anything, whether it's your breakfast, your tea, or your dinner. I apologize. Okay.
Why are you listening to us and eating? That's the bigger question.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't do that.
That mistake has been made before when people are trying to drink and almost sprayed people. So don't do anything with putting things in your mouth, anything in your mouth while you're listening to us. And I'm going to say
so many different ways I could go with that too.
Anyway, Eve Online, Guy, have you ever played it? Have you ever?
I heard of it. It's a space game.
Apparently, the Mac support has finally landed with native play on Intel and M1 Macs.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it available through the App Store?
No, it's Eve Online Mac support. It's on. Listen to what the words I'm saying. Eve Online Mac support. Okay, online, not arcade. Online.
Got it.
And it's Macs. Okay. All right. Can I move on now?
Yes, please.
Apple is set to cut the iPhone production goals due to a chip crunch. Now, I said they really shouldn't be putting chips in your breakfast cereal, should they? But there you go. Someone started doing it.
I agree.
Apple has ordered a comedy series, Shrinking, which is hailed apparently from Ted Lasso, with writers Bill Lawrence and Brett Goldstein. Yes, and you know the guy with the beard, the footballer, who always swears a lot?
Yeah, Roy Kent.
Roy Kent. I think he's.
God, I can remember him, but I can't remember stupid little trivia stuff.
Yeah, well, he's Brett Goldstein, so I think he's doing a lot of writing with it. So we'll have to see how much swearing there may or may not be in that new series. Apple argues against allowing app sideloading by pointing out Android's malware figures. Ooh, careful, Apple. Careful.
Why should they even have to point it out?
Well, no, it's
the people that are making these kinds of decisions should know it already.
Lisa Jackson says Apple buys carbon offsets, but 80% is real clean energy. So a lot of people complain about companies actually buying carbon offsets because they say it's not really doing the clean stuff. You're just offsetting it to somebody else, i.e. it's a cop-out. But she's saying, no, well, 80% is real clean energy. So a lot of people, we used to, say, oh, how good is Apple for having 100% of their energy being, made by themselves or from wind or from solar. It's not quite the case. So they're at 80%, which is good, but let's make sure it gets better.
Yeah, it's like being 80% pregnant.
Well, what's that about? 8 months in?
Pregnant.
7 months in?
80% is 100%. Okay, that's how that works.
Okay. Well, if you say so, I disagree. Apple iPhone
when it comes to pregnancy, yes, that's how it works.
Apple iPhone takes 75% of the global mobile phone market profit, and that's exactly where Apple want to keep it, I would suggest.
Yeah, of course.
Dude,
no. Apple's like, I think we're making too much money.
Well,
we should make less money instead of more money because that's how business works.
That's true. Dude, where's my car? An AirTag has been responsible for tracking down a stolen Subaru. Now, folks, don't rely on this.
No.
It's just don't rely
especially
on
not
this.
For a Subaru.
But apparently in the latest AirTag adventure, where the device solves a real-world problem, Scotty from Chicago.
Good old Scotty.
Shared the story about how his Subaru was stolen. After the police couldn't do much, Scotty remembered he'd hidden an AirTag in his vehicle. There you go. And he found it.
Yeah, way to go, Scott. Great, Scott.
Great Scotty. Apple has hired a new HomePod software lead amid rumors of new home devices guy. HomePod was announced in 2017, but Apple's smart speaker never really became popular. This lack of popularity saw the HomePod Mini replacing the original model. However, Apple doesn't seem to have given up on HomePod, as the company has now hired a new head of HomePod software.
Wouldn't he also be working on the software for the HomePod Mini? If he's working on it for the regular sized HomePod?
Yeah, but I think the hint was that there are possible other devices coming as well.
Oh, well, there should be.
Apple are offering Apple Card 0% financing to those who made a checkout error. Now, I don't know whether I didn't know about this. Apparently, Apple Card 0% financing was first launched in 2019 for iPhone and later extended to other Apple products. However, some people apparently missed out because they failed to select the correct option at checkout. Really? You're dumb and you picked the wrong thing, but now they've got to come back.
It's Apple's fault.
Yeah. There you go. Apple has removed popular Quran app in China in apparent government censorship. Not good, but we know what goes on there.
Look,
Guy, don't.
Okay.
Don't. We know your thoughts. Zip it. Apple appears to chew it and swallow. Go on, chew it and swallow. Said the actress to the bishop. Apple appears to be in a standoff with South Korea. Stop choking.
Sorry.
Apple appears to be in a standoff with South Korea over a new App Store regulations. There's a surprise. Now,
isn't it like 80% of them, or they're complaining about how much money Apple makes from South Korean apps?
I've not read this particular story. I read another one. It didn't talk about that, but yes, you've probably got more information on that than me. Apple has fired employee Janeke Parish, who was the leader of the hashtag Apple II movement. Parish said she has been very vocal on the movement and that her firing feels very much like retaliation.
For what?
Well, I'm not here to defend anybody, Guy.
Well, I mean, was she a whistleblower, or did she
leader of the Apple II hashtag movement? So
I don't even know what that means, but that's okay.
Well, it was the Apple II on the racism and sexism, discrimination stuff. Wasn't it? So, we won't dwell on that.
Yeah, just
land a whole pan of pariah against us.
People will get very upset with us no matter what we say.
That's true.
We're just gonna not say anything.
Apparently, John Norton from The Guardian says Apple's plan to scan images will allow governments into smartphones. Really? What, will it allow people into Android phones? I think not. Apple's plan.
They're already there.
Apple's plan was the first start of that. Mr. John Norton of The Guardian, get a grip. Apple has offered a 20% bonus when adding funds to your Apple ID in India following a new payment restrictions. Apple notified developers last month about a change in India's local payment systems that would impact apps with recurring transactions. As the company is asking developers to promote payments using Apple ID Balance, Apple is now giving a 20% bonus to Indian users who add funds to their Apple ID. Lucky them is what I say. Lucky them.
Yeah, because they do that for us.
And that, Guy, is the end of Gaz's snippets.
So much was left on the table.
So much.
Could not speak of it.
So much.
All right. I think that's it for this section, Gaz.
I think that will probably do, and I think we deserve to be taken out.
And shot. So...
Or hung, drawn, and quartered, I think is the old good old quartered, British way.
You know what? I think I would rather be shot than quartered. I'm just saying.
just as a side note,
because that's some really nasty business that you guys used to do, and people don't even think. They just use that drawn and quartered as an expression. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to be drawn and quartered. Over losing that 25 cents. It's like.
No.
Yeah, it's got more sinister words.
Implications.
Words are hard. That word.
Implications.
Implications than that. Okay,
take us out.
Everyone, quickly. Stand by to be drawn and quartered. To stand by to be drawn and quartered, because Guy and Gaz will definitely be drawn and quartered right after this.
Hi, everyone. Can I start?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Point deux of this week's mighty MyMac podcast with Guy and Gaz, the G-Men. Yeah, that's too many G's in the G-Men, but it'll have to work. Guy, apparently Apple are having an event on Monday. I think we might have mentioned it earlier in the show. I'm not sure.
A little bit.
We don't do rumors, but do you want to have a guess at what they might be bringing out? Sure.
Well, of course, last month they had all the so-called portable devices where that it was new iPads and phones and all of that happy goodness. I think that this is probably going to be a Mac event, that they're going to bring out whatever the next version of the M series chip is going to be. Whether they can actually get them made in quantities or not is another story, but they're going to try. I think we're looking at probably. Well, let's start from the top. Probably the new M-based MacBook Pro, the bigger one, the 16-inch one.
Okay. Yep.
And
you don't think that there's going to be a couple of sizes being brought on, just the 16-inch, not a 14?
well, I think that'll be the big one. I think that they'll do the 13-inch MacBook Pro as well, but I don't think they'll do the MacBook Air. I think the MacBook Air will remain at the M1 level to differentiate it from the Pro series.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree with you.
Oh, okay. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the fact that they've kept this quite secret, because it is relatively secret. I can see my wires hanging around to those on the YouTube channel. I'll best hide that way.
Yeah.
Because they get so many people. Oh yeah, we've got to talk about your earpods as well. AirPods. Yeah, I don't think they'll just be bringing out the actual Pro, the Pro version. We really got to talk about that, because I keep stuttering and you keep upsetting me in my flow.
I keep upsetting myself with this damn thing.
But what do you think about the current? Are there any Mac Pros out there at the moment, or MacBooks out there at the moment with the M series processor?
Oh yeah, the 13-inch MacBook Pro. There was
so that's why you don't think they're going to change to a different size on the smaller Mac Pro. You think they're just going to?
No, I think they'll keep that at 13.
So do you think they'll continue to call it the MacBook Pro 13-inch, even though the processor is not as good as its bigger brother?
Well, I think it will be. I think that they'll
change
out the processor in both the 13 and a new 16-inch.
Okay.
But the 13-inch MacBook Air will remain at the M1.
Okay.
I think they'll also do whatever the next size is going to be for the iMac. So I think we're looking at a 27 or 32-inch iMac. With the new chip.
Hang on a minute. Let's back up a little bit. So what do you think they're going to do in terms of RAM? Do you think the RAM's going to stay the same? Because there was quite a lot of angst, let's use that word, in terms of the RAM that was being able to be installed on this new Apple Silicon.
Well, not so much installed, but selected.
Well,
yeah, because you can only have 8 or 16.
Yeah, precisely. So, there was lots of angst around maybe we should be able to have more RAM in them. Do you think they'll come out with a improved level of RAM?
I think they will.
Availability.
Mostly, and I think it will still remain to be 2 levels. Okay. And the reason why I say that is right now it's hard enough to get chips of any kind made.
True.
So.
True.
With a supply chain situation like this, you need to keep your options as slim as you can possibly make them. So I think for the low end, you're looking at probably either 8 or 16, and the high end will be 32. Okay. So I don't know if they would do an 8 to 32, but that would be a huge incentive for people to bump up to the next one. For a MacBook Pro. It's like, do you want a MacBook Pro with 8 gigs of RAM, or do you want a MacBook Pro with 32 gigs of RAM for $200 more, or whatever the price difference is going to be? And I think that they'll go heavy on the 32, because most people that want a larger MacBook Pro with a better processor would probably go with whatever the higher end available RAM selection would be.
Okay. So what is your thought process on the iMac? Because you mentioned the iMac. Because I don't have any thought process on the iMac. I don't think they'll be bringing anything out on the iMacs.
I think that the larger iMac might come out.
Because they brought out did they go
21-inch
or 24-inch on the
Right.
So there was a speculation that they might go to 32. I think that was one of my speculations, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Because the screen that they have right now on the 27-inch iMac is a good screen. That is a very clear and sharp screen. So in order to keep things simple, not even really so much simple, but to not create a supply chain nightmare for yourself, they may stick with 27 for at least this first go round, and make it the M1X or the M2 or whatever it is. I guess to me, the bigger question would be, would they then also update the 24-inch, or would they leave that where it is? And then seriously, it would almost be like the 24-inch would be the iMac and the 27 or 32-inch would be the iMac Pro, because it would have a faster processor.
Yeah.
And that would actually, with the way supply chain is right now, that would actually make more sense. So you would have the 24-inch for people that like having an all-in-one machine that's still very fast and very capable. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the M1 processor. I'm using one right now. But for people that want a little more power and a slightly larger screen, well, then, you bump up to whatever that price would be for a 27 or 32-inch iMac with an M1X, M2. And, there's your Mac Pro-ish kind of computer right now. What I don't think we'll see is an actual Mac Pro. I think Apple is kind of taking their time when it comes to scaling the M series of chips, and not just because of supply chain issues, because remember that one of the things that makes the M series of chips so fast is that it's basically a system on a chip. Everything is built in. So your RAM is built in, the processor is built in, your graphics assembly is built in.
So can I ask you a question on that?
Working together.
Can I just interrupt you and ask you a question on that? People's expectation of a Mac Pro is the fact that it's very modular and that you can improve the amount of RAM that you have on the machine. The point that you just made was that the integration of this chip has all of those things on one board. So there's no way that you could update that. Or do you think they might be looking at a way around that to actually be able to give it more oomph in a modular fashion?
I would have to say that it may be a problem in search of a solution. I don't think it's even really a problem.
No.
They have shown that, for years, people have had this point hammered into their skulls that, more RAM better. You always want more RAM because of swap and blah, 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 blah. How, with all of their various reasons for wanting more RAM. And the 8 gigabyte M series chip kind of put that to rest.
Well, can I say something else? I don't think you're right there. I'll tell you. Go ahead. I think what put that to rest was SSD hard drives, or SSDs rather, not SSD hard drives, because
go ahead.
And the reason I say that was because people used to be trying to get more RAM to be able to do the quicker processing. But when you got a much quicker hard drive, their processing suddenly sped up by so much that then actually the RAM became a much less significant improvement to your system. So maybe you're right there in terms of Apple, not having to find a solution to a problem, which now perhaps does no longer exist. I'm agreeing with you, Guy.
I know. I'm trying to think of how to respond.
Don't think too long.
It's like, what are we hearing? The thing with RAM on PowerPC and Intel-based computers, having more RAM, regardless of the type of storage that you had, was important, because a lot of the common processes that you were doing would be swapped over to fast RAM instead of being put onto internal storage, because you knew, or the computer knew, or the people who made your applications knew that was going to be a faster way to handle transitions between one part of the application and the other, and another part of the application. Well, you did all this through RAM, which was part of the reason why having more RAM was so important. With the M series, number one being not a CISC chip, but a RISC chip, a reduced instruction set chip, that sped things up quite a bit right there. But because the GPU and the CPU, storage, and your memory were all more or less integrated with one another at the board level, instead of just being, okay, I'm going to take this information and I'm going to put it through this bus to this device over here or to this RAM chip over there. And these were the things that would slow down your processing.
Okay.
But because this is system on a chip.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that the Mac Pro is probably not going to appear on Monday.
No.
Because you think Apple are taking their time to think about how to make that a real Pro machine and scale it into a different process. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We won't go on to what you think they might do for that, because that will take us down a whole 10 minutes.
Actually, that's what I was just about to do. So it's a good.
And I'm going to stop you. We can do that another time.
Stop that man before he pontificates again.
So what else do you think? Because there's another little Mac which is used by ye and me.
Yeah.
Do you think they will do anything with the Mac Mini?
I think they are. I think that they will put the new processor into the Mac Mini, and I currently have between $500 and $600 in Apple cashback.
No, I'm sorry. You have $600.
Okay, but I would use that if they come out with a new Mac Mini and it's available right away. I would use that for a new Mac Mini.
Question. What would you do with the old one?
I would probably, right now, my son Peter is using my old 2010 Mac Pro.
It get repurposed within the family.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
not because you need something faster, but because you just want the new Mac Mini.
Yeah. No. I need that speed, Gaz.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
And maybe the Bluetooth will be worked out by then.
Well,
he said,
yeah.
He said with gritted teeth.
Yeah. We'll come on to that in a little while. I really need to talk to you about this earphone thing that you keep talking about. Yeah. I've experienced less Bluetooth issues more recently, but I don't know whether that's because I've got used to it or not. Okay. So
I actually reset my Bluetooth module recently.
Okay. I'll have to ask you what you did.
I'm still not happy.
Oh, well, I won't ask you then. So other than the Mac Pro, we think there could be a new Mac iMac. There could be a new Mac Pro, MacBook Pro, and there could be a new Mac Mini.
Yes.
Anything else you think they might bring along with it?
One of the things that they didn't talk about was AirPods.
Okay.
Or earpods.
In the last one.
Yeah, these things. AirPod Pros. I'm not talking about the over-the-ear ones.
Yes. Have you got some new ones, Guy? Because the ones in your ears are not the same color as the ones that I.
These are wired.
Ah, they're wired. I see.
Actually, before we got started recording today, because I had reset the Bluetooth module, as I said a second ago, I figured, okay, well, this is the perfect time to try these AirPods and see if they're working any better. And so I put them in and I started using them a little bit before we started recording. And it was like, great, they're not working any better. So I took them off and went ahead and
he was gesturing to his AirPods charging case, folks.
Yeah, and it was not a pleasant gesture.
No,
not at all. It was like, jog on there, stupid.
Okay.
AirPods
so do you think
Pros.
they're going to be bringing out AirPods? What is it, 3 now? What they call them, 4?
Well, would it be? Well, I think that if they do, that it would be the AirPods, not the AirPod Pros, because there has been some rumors about new AirPods that have some of the same qualities and the same features as the AirPod Pros, but not everything. You know, things like what was the big thing with the AirPod Pros? The surround sound, and I think they were supposed to have like the transparency feature, which would allow you to be able to hear other stuff that was going on around you while you were jogging instead of just blocking everything out all the time. That would make sense for new AirPods. As far as the rest of it goes, the AirPods, not the Pros, but the AirPods are meant to be relatively for Apple, inexpensive, and accessible to the common man. whereas the AirPod Pros are typically 50 to 100% more expensive with more features and all the rest of that. But I think that this entire upcoming event is going to be more along the lines of getting more of it's still Intel-based Macs into the M series line.
Okay.
I think that'll be the main focus.
Cool. Well, I think that pretty much does it. I don't think you upset yourself there. I don't think we embarrassed ourselves with what our predictions are. And I think we're going to get a tick in probably 2 or 3% of the boxes there, to be honest with you. Yeah.
2 or 3%. But in the meantime, we're head nodding.
Hit it.
We're
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
Okay, this is less a new tip and more a reminding tip. Will you stop doing that? It really is putting me off.
I'm not happy with them.
Okay, if you want to take a screenshot on your Mac, if you press Shift Command 3, basically you've just got the entire screen, right? However, if you want to do a portion of your screen, if you go Shift Command and 4, then you get a crosshair and you can drag that across the screen or the area of the selection to get your screenshot. If you want a window or a menu, you can press Shift Command 4 and the space bar. Basically, you need to open the window or the window or menu that you want to capture. Press and hold those keys that I just mentioned, Shift Command 4 plus space bar, and the pointer will change to a little camera icon. And basically, you move that camera icon around to where you want it to take, and it will just take the shot of, say, a page from the website, or a
full page,
a Finder window. Yes. There's also Shift Command 5, which comes up and it gives you all of the options that you can possibly take, and it gives you a timer option as well. So the in-app or in operating system screen capture processes that the Mac has, I think, is still far superior than ever Windows was.
It sucks. Sorry, excuse me.
Yes. So that guy is at the end of my tip.
Oh, very good.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
No, stop that. Who did that?
Not savior of the universe, definitely.
No. I do not have a pick this week, Gaz, but it looks like you do.
Well, I've just popped the Strava app in there for people that
which we were
may or
about.
may not know it, which we were talking about earlier in terms of my cycling, which has been very sparse recently. Actually, I haven't had time to go out on the bike, so I've got to get back out there again. So.
Yeah, I think we can call that Gaz's app.
Hit it.
No. It's not the Gaz's app. Mostly clean.
Well, sort of.
Sort of clean. Okay.
So,
if you would like to do a review of the mighty MyMac.com podcast, we would love it if you do so. And I'm somewhat behind in my production of Wooties.
Oh,
somewhat behind.
Oh,
but you can get me started again by going to the podcatcher of your choice and doing a review of the MyMac.com podcast, and then you too can wait for months on end for your Woody. Big W, big O, big T, little I, little E. That spells Woody. If you don't know what it is, do a review and find out. Ha, ha, ha.
Very clever.
Now, no particular feedback that I know of this week, but if you would like to help support this show for whatever reason you may have, and we do appreciate it when you do so, patreon.com/MacParrot, coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot, or you can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. There we go. Very good. Now, Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you and say, why does Guy talk about that week after week? How would they do so?
Ever so easy, guys. Send an email to gazjz
Nice.
at mymac.com or on the Twitters, twitter.com/gazmazjz.
Cars.
M-A-Z.
Cars. Looks like a chipmunk.
You can also contact Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz. G-U-Y
What?
A-N-D-G-A. Wait for it. Z.
Cars.
You can also send an email to feedback at mymac.com, FWDBACK at mymac.com. Now,
do we know it was a guy?
I don't know. I don't know whether it was a guy.
I like to go with guy.
So do I.
Guy says.
What does he say?
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain. He's the guy.
So why? If he's the guy.
Guy.
Yes,
Guy's the one.
he is. And
You remember Guy?
I do. Anyway.
His name was Guy.
La 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 la.
No fooling.
Thank you.
If you want
An email from Guy.
what do they need to do, guys?
Oh, they just need to send that to podcast@vertshark.com. Actually, you can also still send that to Guy at mymac.com if you want, but I'm trying to transition over to podcast@vertshark.com. You can also find me on the Twitters. I have 2 accounts, just like 2 emails. I have 2 accounts. I'm a very duopoly kind of guy.
Duopoly.
That's me. And see, now I have 3. I have to see if duopoly is on Twitter, and if it's not there, I'm going to go out.
It will be.
It's probably long gone. You can reach me on the Twitters by sending something to either MacPettit or VertShark. Yes. And if you would like to call us, it's so easy to call us, guys. You just dial a 1 or a +1 on your phone, and then it's 703-436-9501. My head tilts to one side. Oh, as it comes out. Hello? Damn.
See, you've called the number, and that's what happens.
That's
You
what
get a
happens.
response.
The recorded voice that goes, hello? You can also, that number again, I'm messing this up, is 1 or +1.
I'm putting you
703-436-9501. Or just don't dial a 1 or a +1. Just go right to the Skype app if you are so inclined, and then dial 703-436-9501. See, I just saw you do that. You were going like this too. I saw you. And if you can see all of this, now we don't actually really talk about this much, Gaz.
No.
But we do have a video component of this show.
We do.
And if you're interested in seeing that, and this is what I forgot to talk about before, you can catch this usually a day or 2 later over on YouTube. Just type in the little search field there, VertShark, and all of the audios and all of the videos, all of the videos, not the audios, because that would be stupid. All of the videos would come up on the VertShark channel, where you can like, share, subscribe. 3 things: like, share, subscribe. It's all you got to do. It is so very easy. And Gaz, because it is so easy,
Yeah.
I would like to say that. Actually, I would like to say thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you, right there,
Well,
Mr. Gaz.
Yeah. Well, you thank me every week. That's fine. I think we ought to thank the listeners.
Okay. Well, okay, them too. We thank our listeners each and every week for downloading. I'm also forgetting what it is I'm supposed to say at this point. For downloading and listening through your AirPod Pros.
Oh dear.
That don't work the way they're supposed to. For everyone except me.
Yes.
But I would like to say that based on everything that has happened this week, and this week alone, Gaz, I think we're smart enough.
Do you know, this week I think you might be right.
It was a good, smart kind of show, mostly.
Yeah.
Little bit. I also think that we're good enough.
We generally.
And I got this completely out of order, didn't I?
You have.
So kind of blew the whole smart enough thing.
And the good enough thing.
Yeah, and good enough. However, all of that aside, the smart enough and good enough thing aside, woof, wilf, Woof, woof. Your little doggy likes us.
True. Parfois, il n'a tout simplement pas grand-chose à dire, mais je suis ce que nous pouvons combler cela. Guy?
Yeah.
Talking of French.
Oh, were we?
Well, French waiters, you know. I mean, it's a respectable job, isn't it? Being a waiter.
Yeah.
People think that being a waiter is a respectable job. And hey, it puts food on the table.
Isn't this the same joke you told last week?
Is it? Do you know, there's a repetitiveness going on here.
Maybe so, but there's also a repetitiveness going on.
People always told my dad that his pride would be the death of him. And sure enough, he was eaten by his favourite lion last Friday. I kept with the food thing there, you see?
Yeah.
See what I did? I kept with the
Yeah,
food.
vous jardez.
Du Jarvet.
Yeah,
Are you waiting for me to say it?
I am.
End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.